What's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones, and yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast, the podcast where we talk New Orleans Saints. Really do appreciate your time, no matter where you are, wherever you may be on this Friday afternoon. And before I get started, just want to make sure, before I start going off and rambling here, that everybody can hear me. I know the last time we had some technical issues when it came to the audio, me speaking through the microphone here at the station. So before I get started, if somebody can hit me up in the chat, let me know if you can hear me loud and clear before we get started. But do want to say I appreciate each and every one of you's time. If you're new to this channel, hopefully we can keep you here by the end of this episode and don't put you to sleep. But in the meantime, we're going to be talking a little bit about Saints owner Gayle Benson. It seems like a topic that a lot of members of the Who Dat Nation want to discuss, of course. and I'm laughing. I'm laughing because I thought that this was going to be a pretty light week, especially like the Saints being on a bye week, not much going on. I decided to kind of chill a little bit, actually take a little bye week myself, man. Haven't really been putting out too much content besides, the little clips on Bleacher Report, and also a special shout out to those that check out the Saints Minute here on the State of the Saints podcast Monday through Thursday here. And sometimes we even put some on Friday, depending on the circumstance or the situation that's going on. But look, I was actually on my way to work here, driving and stopped at the gas station. And, you pump your gas, you get yourself situated, and you kind of just sitting in your car. So I'm just, strolling through my phone, and I come across a tweet that was by Jeff Duncan, a well-respected reporter that covers the Saints, has been covering the Saints for a very long time. I guess people, have their mixed opinions about Jeff Duncan, but I mean, Jeff Duncan has always been kind to me. I've interviewed him here on the show before, and he's always very kind. If I ask him a question, to respond, taking a few minutes of his time. So he has my respect. But of course, there was a tweet that came out and everybody just kind of lost it. It was about Gayle Benson having a sit-down interview with the Times-Picayune and her giving her unwavering support of General Manager Mickey Loomis. And, I got a little bit of the article right here, and I'm going to go ahead, and I'm not going to read everything because I feel like it's only fair for individuals to go and check out New Orleans Advocate, download that and subscribe to it. Shouts out to those fine folks over there. My guy, Rod Walker. What's up, Rod? And Luke and so many others, man. But anyway, in the meantime, this is a little bit of the snippet. All right. It says New Orleans Saints owner Gayle Benson issued her strongest public endorsement yet of General Manager Mickey Loomis. Her strongest public endorsement of him yet, calling demands for her to fire the football team's long-term executive ridiculous. During an exclusive interview with the Times-Picayune Thursday, Benson strongly backed the Saints' embattled general manager, saying she holds him in high esteem and is pleased with his work. And she also mentioned that, I know this isn't popular I'm paraphrasing here, that I know this isn't popular opinion about, my feelings towards Mickey Loomis, but I just think that if anybody wants me to fire him, it's just absolutely ridiculous. He is doing a great job. Now, look, man, number one, I just got to ask anybody that follows this team, are you surprised? Are you surprised that she said that? Because I'm not. I mean, I don't know what people thought was going to happen when she sat down with Times-Picayune. Number one, the fact that she actually sat down with a news publication just tells me everything that I need to know here. It basically was, I'm pretty sure she got briefed. I'm pretty sure she probably knew the questions that they were going to ask her. And to me, this is how I feel, man. If I have to ask you a list of questions that you give me, I don't want to interview you. I'm serious. I do not want to interview you, right? If I got to ask you softball questions, I don't want to interview you. Plain and simple. Like that's the first red flag in my opinion. This whole, like the whole briefing of it. I'm pretty sure she knew what they were going to ask her the entire time. So to me, that's just a waste of time. But to my guy Rod Walker's tweet, to his credit, he said, I know people aren't happy at what Gayle Benson said, but at least she said something. So I guess we can give her props for that, but it just tells me everything that I already knew about Gayle Benson. Gayle Benson is a figurehead. Gayle Benson would not be owning a football team, a basketball team. I believe she got like a horse or something like that. I mean, so many other different things that are relatable to sports. If she wasn't married or she did not marry the late Tom Benson, plain and simple. This woman does not know that much about football. Probably not anything at all, other than probably towards the twilight of Mr. Benson's life, where he started bringing her into meetings and having her to try to understand what is going on. So I don't understand why Saints fans are looking at Gayle Benson for the answers, because she doesn't have any. She doesn't have any. She doesn't have any answers. And I don't know why people would think that she would just throw away a guy. If you look at the hierarchy of the New Orleans Saints, he's the only guy really up top that understands football operations, which makes him virtually untouchable. Mickey Loomis is untouchable. That's just the reality of the thing. I've been telling Saints fans this for I don't know how long. This man is untouchable. This man was left in the will of the late Tom Benson, being third in command of the say-so of this football team, of what happens to this football team. Him and Greg Benson, they basically on the same playing field. If him and Greg Benson, who is one of the executives, if they don't agree, then whatever Mickey says goes. So let's just say Mickey says, I don't know, I want to take $100 million and pay this guy. And Greg Benson was like, nah, I don't think that. Well, this is what we're going to do. That is what's going to happen. Mickey is going to have the final say so. That is how much respect Tom Benson had for Mickey Loomis. So for anybody just thinking that he is going to get fired, it's just a waste of your time. It is a waste of your time to believe that Mickey Loomis is going to get fired. I'm telling you, the worst case scenario in this whole situation is that Mickey Loomis wakes up one morning and says, you know what? I think I'm just going to step down as a general manager. That is the only way you're going to see a change at general manager in New Orleans. Now, I know this statement will never allow me to step foot on airline, but y'all already know how I go. I think the statement that Miss Benson made, with all due respect, was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. That was ridiculous. Not the fact that Saints fans wanting Mickey Loomis to be fired was ridiculous. The fact that she says that he is doing a great job is ridiculous, because everybody knows, every human being that follows this New Orleans Saints football team knows that in any other situation, any other organization, this dude would have been fired at least 2 years ago. And it also makes the organization look inept for her to even say that. Like, there's also this vibe when it comes to the Saints organization and the fans. It seems like they get mad at fans, upset at fans for demanding excellence of the football team. Like when fans are like, man, the team is 2-8. Why would you hire a coach that has never won anything? Why would you sign a quarterback that has never won anything to a $100 million contract? Why didn't you find a succession plan to Drew Brees? Why do you hold on to players too long? It's like all of these questions that fans are asking are legit, because the questions need to be asked. And it's like they get mad or they get upset or they get into like damage control or they get into this defense, like this I guess like this level of defense where they feel like old fans are taking unjustifiable shots at them, which is not true. And that's what really bothers me about this organization. It's like, how dare you say anything to us? Keep coming to the football game. Keep buying the merchandise. Like, are you out your freaking mind? There's nothing in this world that works like that. Nothing. There's nothing in this world that works like that. Like, nobody is going to continue to give you their hard-earned money if the product sucks. Like, are you going to keep on going to the same store over and over again if every time you go into the dairy department, the milk is spoiled? Every time you go there, you know what I'm saying? You take it home, you take the cap off, you sniff it, you whiff it, and you know what I'm saying? Like, whoo, man, this milk is spoiled. Are you going to keep on going back to that store getting your milk? Absolutely not. Or any other things that you buy. It just does not work like that. So I just don't understand it. Like, it's like this organization has shown fans, and some of you, that this is all you knew. They showed you that they had the capability of being a legit franchise in the National Football League. You showed the Saints fans that this is possible. So, of course, fans want to see this replicated year after year after year. And when you can't do it, of course, they're going to start asking questions. And you can't get mad at fans because at the end of the day, y'all rich. These fans are spending hundreds, thousands of dollars to go to these football games to cheer for a team that they believe in. But what happens when the organization is not believing in the fans? Not so much so that they feel that they can put anything out there and just basically dangle a carrot in the form of a Tyler Shuck or a Spencer Rattler, and then all of a sudden people are just going to show up. Like, no, man. No. And when the questions get asked, they get upset. I'm not even going to go into my opinion on this. I'm going to just go ahead and read y'all. Like, look, I took some time when I heard about this article. I took some time and I just started to think about all of the bad decisions that Mickey Loomis has made over the last 4 to 5 years that has set this team back. And y'all tell me if he's doing a good job or not, right? Y'all tell me if this is going a good job, all right? All right, in 2021, we know that Drew Brees, the famous, look back at the Superdome in the divisional round when the Saints lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, right? In 2021, refusing to start a real reset after Drew Brees. Everybody knew that Drew Brees was the face of the franchise. Drew Brees was the straw that stirred the drink, right? He was the guy. He was the reason why people believed in his football team from 2006 to 2020, 2021, right? He was the guy. After he retired, you knew that you didn't have a succession plan. In 2016, I'll go a little further. We know that Drew Brees in an interview said after the 2015 season, he contemplated retiring. In 2016, he contemplated retiring, ladies and gentlemen. So you had 2017 to find a successor, 2018 to find a successor, 2019, 2020. But instead, you kept kicking the can down the road. You know why? Because we care too much about optics. We don't want to make Drew upset by bringing another quarterback in, making him feel like we're going to push him out. It's not about that. It's business at the end of the day. It's business at the end of the day. You can't be thinking about other people's feelings and what things are going to be perceived. Drew Brees is a beast. So whatever quarterback that you bring in, I'm pretty sure they're probably going to be riding the pine because they're not going to be on the level of Drew Brees. Maybe at the end of his career, when it comes to arm strength, they probably will have it. But you would have yourself a Aaron Rodgers, Jordan Love type situation. What did the Saints do? They decided to kick the can down the road when it comes to the succession plan. Kept on trying to find quarterbacks, no disrespect, but like Jameis Winston and all these other veterans out here, Trevor Siemian and Andy Dalton and all these different guys, instead of them going into the draft, trying to find a succession plan. They kicked the can down the road with that. Right? No long-term solution at quarterback. 2022, they give up the first-round draft picks in order for them to have 2 first-round draft picks that they turned into Chris Olave and Trevor Penning. Now, Chris Olave, you can make an argument that, okay, he's a good wide receiver. I still don't feel like he's a number one, even though he had a really good game against Carolina, but still. Then you went out and you got Trevor Penning, who is not even on the team. You basically drafted him to be the successor to Teron Armstead, right? He couldn't do that. Then you tried to move him to the right side. He was serviceable, but still not good enough. Then you moved him to left guard. I mean, he was an absolute disaster. So much so that you traded him for a box of Cracker Jacks, a bacon, egg, and cheese McGriddle, a croissant sandwich. That's what you traded him for. Do y'all want to know what that pick that the New Orleans Saints gave to the Philadelphia Eagles brought them? It gave them Jalen freaking Carter. It gave them Jalen Carter. That's what it gave them, ladies and gentlemen. So you have to say that he whiffed on that. 2022 to 2024, coaching decision around Dennis Allen. Like, I don't need to spare y'all the details of Dennis Allen. 8-28 as a head coach when he first got signed by the New Orleans Saints. Instead of them going out, getting a brand new coach, getting somebody that's in here with a different philosophy, a different way of thinking, what did they do? They dug into the crates. They became afraid to try to go out here to try to find a new coach. Instead, they wanted to keep everything around like Sean Payton had it, missing one particular ingredient that was extremely important, which was Sean Payton. So they end up getting Dennis Allen. Dennis Allen goes out there and looks like slaw. I mean, he was a bad coach the first stop. He was a bad coach his second stop. Team didn't believe in him. Guys were getting banged up, not really respecting guys, lost the locker room. Defense gave up on him. And then on top of that, it's like guys were making business decisions for the most part. Like, man, I ain't about to go out here and sacrifice myself for this guy. So you end up bringing in Dennis Allen when you could have got somebody else and set the team back even further. Let's move on. Continue, despite the fact that you've seen that Dennis Allen wasn't the right coach, still trying to push towards winning now. What did the New Orleans Saints do? Did they go out and try to draft a quarterback? Absolutely not. They bring in a quarterback that had never won anything of any significance in Derek Carr, right? They invested and they tried to build a team around a guy who was not elite, but they tried to make it seem like, once again, it was the organization and not the person, just like they did with the Raiders. Oh, it was the Raiders organization. It wasn't Dennis Allen. Oh, it was the Raiders organization, not Derek Carr. So you continue to push the team back even further by bringing in a guy that can't win you nothing, that can't get you over the hump, and wasted 2 more years. I mean, do we need to go on even further? The fact that the New Orleans Saints, as of right now, like, even though we seen promise out of Tyler Shuck, there is not a human being on this planet that's going to sit up here and just say emphatically, like, you're just hoping at this point that Tyler Shuck works out. You went into the camp with 3 inexperienced quarterbacks that had never won an NFL game between the 3 of them. And why did you do that? Most of it is because of the bad cap decisions. The fact that you couldn't really go out here and wheel and deal. And a team was so much in shambles that you weren't going to, you weren't going to entice any type of veteran quarterback of any significance to come here to help you out. So I just, like, this stuff that I'm telling y'all just happened between 2021 and 2025. And I ain't even mentioned like the bad cap issues and holding on to older players and keep on continuously kicking the can down the road. But Gayle Benson says that Mickey Loomis is doing a good job. And how we don't understand, like, Mickey Loomis is losing sleep about this. Well, look, I think a lot of Saints fans are losing sleep. You know why they losing sleep? Because on Saturday night, they like, man, I want to watch this team. But man, I know they're going to stink it up. And nobody wants to feel like that at all. Nobody wants to feel like that. And look, nobody's sitting up here trying to like beat down Mickey Loomis. Like, that's not anybody's intentions. But we got to be realistic about this. The reason why the Saints are in the state that they are in right now is because of Mickey Loomis. Plain and simple. And the fact that Gayle Benson can sit up here and make it seem like it's wrong for Saints fans to be taking shots at Mickey Loomis as if he's doing everything right and we just criticizing him is just absolutely ridiculous. Now, that is ridiculous. Those are bad decisions that were made because this is a general manager that does not have a real sense of reality of where this team is. And I can understand that you're trying to win, but you also have to be realistic about it. I don't expect for my 6-year-old to be able to dunk on an 8-foot rim. I don't expect for my 6-year-old to be able to throw a 50-yard pass down the field. And I can't expect for my team to be in playoff position if I have not built the team around them in order for them to be successful. So why are we having this conversation? And like I said, at the end of the day, nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to change at all. And that's what the most frustrating thing about it is. It's almost like the article was saying, like, we're working on it. We're trying. And y'all just be quiet. Like, no, ain't nobody going to be quiet. I can tell you what's going to happen. What's going to happen is this fan base is going to be fed up with what's going on in the front office, and they're going to check out. They're going to check out. It's not like it's not going to be like, oh man, we ain't going to watch the Saints no more. They're going to watch from their house. They're going to watch from the house. But ain't nobody going to be sitting up in there going into the Superdome spending money on a team that is unwatchable. Now, I don't know what the future holds for the Saints. I'm pretty sure like they feel, okay, we're hoping that this whole Tyler Shuck thing work out and maybe we can build around him. But as of right now, like I said, I do not have any faith whatsoever in the Saints front office. None whatsoever. And anybody that doesn't have faith in them is well within their rights. And I don't feel bad about saying that because they have done everything they possibly can to show Saints fans that they don't have what it takes. And the decisions that they made have been a downfall of this organization since Drew Brees and Sean Payton have left this team. And it's just making us realize more and more what Drew Brees and what Sean Payton meant to this organization and how many people were covered but because of those two individuals. Ineptitude was covered. Bad decision-making was covered. Bad draft picks were covered because of those two individuals. And instead of them realizing that, they just want to continue to get mad and try to divert and their attention to the fans, like these fans just taking shots and they're at war with the fan base. Like, come on, man. What are we doing here? Those bad decisions that I just presented to you is the reason why people are upset with Mickey Loomis. It has absolutely nothing to do with him as a person. Don't know him as a person. But as a general manager, he is not doing a good job. And he is by far, without a shadow of a doubt, as of right now, one of the worst, if not the worst general manager in the National Football League, plain and simple. But before we get into the comments, I want to say thank you, and I want to let you know that this show is brought to you by MyBookie. And, of course, we know that the Saints are on a bye week this weekend, but don't be discouraged. You still can place your bets at MyBookie. Download the MyBookie app. You can take advantage of the buy-in option up to $500, meaning if you bet up to $500, you have a chance to win your $500 back. All right, no harm, no foul. All you have to do is use the promo code SAINTS. Promo code SAINTS. Go ahead with some of your comments before we get up out of here, man. Not going to be a long show at all. Just wanted to give my thoughts and hear some of your takes on this whole Gayle Benson situation. I'm going to start at a certain spot. If you don't hear your question, you can copy and paste. TJ, when I saw that post, I knew you were going to cut up on this. Look, I mean, at the end of the day, I know some people are like, man, I thought it'd be a little bit more energy, but I'm not surprised by this, man. I'm not surprised by this at all, King Arthur. I'm not, man. I'm not surprised by this whole situation. I don't know what it is, man. When I have the headphones in my ear, it make me feel weird. But anyway, I'm not surprised by this at all. I'm not surprised by, the fact that, she said what she said. Because like I said, man, when it comes to the higher ups, when it comes to Dennis Lauscher, when it comes to Gayle Benson, I question their football knowledge at all. And I already said, Gayle Benson is a figurehead. Gayle Benson is a figurehead. And I don't mean that in a derogatory or disrespectful way, because that's just the reality. Gayle Benson would not be sitting up here having an interview with Jeff Duncan if she did not inherit a team from her late husband. Plain and simple. She is basically carrying out her husband's wishes. That's it. So what are we supposed to do? Like, I don't expect for her to sit up here and talk about the execution and the false starts and the penalties and all that kind of stuff. I don't expect that from no Gayle Benson. And I'm not shocked at all that she has this unwavering support for Mickey Loomis. And that's one of the main reasons why Mickey Loomis carries himself the way that he does. Because he know he made out of Teflon. That man know he ain't going nowhere. Like, you talking about him losing sleep. Man, come on, man. He probably do lose sleep, but not to a point where he feel like his decisions are going to be, like decided, be the deciding factor if he keeps his job or not. TJ, to be honest, what Mickey Loomis do, what have he done lately besides ruin the team, bad cap, overspending, paying the wrong players? He hasn't did nothing right. He should have been fired, TJ. Yeah, he should have been fired. Any other organization that wasn't afraid that the football guy that at the highest point, like they would have fired him. That's the only reason this dude's still here. The fact that he was left in the will of Tom Benson, the fact that up top, when it comes to the hierarchy of the Saints, he's the most knowledgeable guy. And then on top of that, at worst, it's like he gonna be the executive vice president. I would be shocked. I promise you, I would be shocked if this ever came across my timeline. Mickey Loomis has been fired as general manager of the Saints. It's gonna come to a point where he just gonna step down. And like I said, man, this team is so focused on optics and how things are perceived, you will never see that. You'll never see a point where you see him getting fired. They will have a smoke-filled room, behind-the-scenes type conversation with him, basically convincing him to step down and him to do so before, they sit up here and say he's going to get fired. So I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all, man. They willing to go down together on this sinking ship. But we'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see if they can be able to turn it around. I mean, there's been some good things that they've done this season, man. We gotta admit that. Once again, Chad, keep it clean in the chat, or you go sit in the corner with a dunce hat on for 24 hours. Let's see. The Eagles GM has made Loomis look bad on multiple deals. Fans already tired of the Pelicans. They should have brought a basketball team. They should never bought a basketball team. TJ, what about Saints ticket holders and maybe selling their tickets to those other than Saints fans and they get a profit? No way to stop those fans. Yes. Yeah, I mean, I guess not. But I'm just saying, like, if you're a season ticket holder this season and you see what you're seeing right now, like, are you going to be trying to possibly get season ticket next year? Like, man, I think I can find something else to do with my time. They can't manage the pro teams. Howie Roseman is much smarter than Loomis. TJ, it already happened to me. I was prepared to spend hundreds to go to some games this season. I'm pretty sure a lot of people were, man. But at the end of the day, ain't nobody going to be spending their money on this, especially when a team just can't, like, admit their faults. I think, what would go a long way, and I could be wrong, but if this organization, guy like Mickey Loomis, like Gayle Benson, were just to go out and just say, you know what, what we want to do is we want to apologize to the fans. I mean, we know that the fans go out here and they spend their hard-earned money to come and watch the team and cheer their hearts out. I know the product hasn't been ideal, but we're gonna try to turn this thing around. But we know our fans deserve a better product, and we working on it. Instead of that, like, what they saying is, like the energy that I got, it was even from that interview she did with Fletcher Mackel. She was like, it's not like we sitting up here not doing nothing at all. We working on it. It's like, wait a minute here. Like, you don't know how, like, somebody asks you, like, like, hey man, you think you can help me out with this? Yeah, I can help you out with it, man. Just give me a minute. Just give me a few minutes, man. Like, I told you I was gonna help you out. Yeah, it's kind of like that. Like, how are you getting upset with fans at demanding something that is basically should be required, right? People getting upset and frustrated with the organization, and you getting mad because they're upset and frustrated at the organization. oh, y'all don't see how we trying. Nobody cares. Because here's the thing. You put yourself in this situation. That is what Saints fans are looking at. You put yourself in this situation. You have made Saints fans miserable because of your own doing, because you dragged your feet and cared too much about optics and cared too much about individual feelings for you to go out here to make tough business decisions that would have helped you be able to get over this hump. And maybe around this time in 2025, we would have had some better watchable Saints football instead of having one horseshoe on one side, a lucky rabbit's foot on this side, a four-leaf clover behind me, and maybe a falling star or fall behind me to try to hope that this team actually wins a football game. It's your doing. So when people are like, man, what's going on with the football team? You're getting mad at fans? Like, it ain't like we not doing anything. Nobody's saying you ain't doing anything. But at the same time, people don't care. People are spending their money to come to the games. So, of course, they're going to ask, man, why you ain't got the quarterback position sold up? Why you ain't got the coaching position sold up? Why y'all keep on kicking the can down the road? Why we can't go out here and entice free agents? And it's like they get upset because fans, have like legit questions that they need to answer. So that whole vibe, like shut up and we gonna do us and y'all just come on and keep on spinning. Like, man, miss me with that. That's the energy that it came off with. I know she probably didn't mean it that way, but that's what you're saying. Is like, man, I'm tired of hearing this. We doing the best that we can. Well, Saints fans are doing the best that they can. Especially like when people are out here going, spending their money the way that they are. Everybody that goes into the Superdome on Sunday not rich. They make an investment at going to the Saints game because for 3 hours they can escape whatever the hell they're going through in their life. So now, you know what I'm saying, like, at least you know that your boys were going to look like something. But now it's like, man, my life, my life is rough. I'm trying to go to the football game and I got to watch my team look even rougher than my life is. Super King Cooper, thank you very much for the $4.99. Says, you can't tell me otherwise, but I wholeheartedly believe the fans are way more invested and have a clear vision than the people getting paid to. I mean, look, fans just want a watchable product. TJ, we understand if there wasn't so much arrogance, gaslighting, and grandstand at the podium, we have legitimate gripes with this organization. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's a lot of gaslighting. It's like people, it's like them trying to convince us that what we're seeing isn't what we're seeing, right? But everybody can see it. Everybody can see the ineptitude of this football team. Everybody can see the ineptitude of the basketball team. It seems like, and once again, with all due respect, it seems like the higher-ups don't know what they're doing. And I'm sorry, but that's the best way I can put it. And if I'm wrong, then convince me that I am. Because since 2021, since two of the most important individuals have left this organization, the Saints have yet to been able to replicate anything close to what they actually brought to the table. Anything close. And it seemed like they're getting further and further back. The Saints, as of right now, had the worst start that they had in their franchise since 1980. Did you hear what I said? They had their worst start since 1980. That's not trending in the right direction, and that's not a reflection of a general manager doing a good job. The New Orleans Saints are going on 5 consecutive seasons without making a postseason. That's not a general manager that's doing a good job. The New Orleans Saints invested $100 million in a quarterback that didn't even get them a playoff appearance at all whatsoever. But this guy is making good decisions. He's doing a good job. The New Orleans Saints shipped away their offensive lineman that they got in the first round in 2022 for a bag of popcorn. But the general manager is doing a good job. The New Orleans Saints invested, instead of them going getting Jordan Love, the quarterback out of Utah State, they decided to get Cesar Ruiz. But the only reason why he's starting right now is, once again, optics. Instead of them going out here getting themselves another quarterback when they knew Drew Brees more than likely was going to retire. They knew he was going to retire. There was talk that this man could possibly retire, and yet they still didn't try to make a move. But she is telling us that he is doing a good job. Where's the good job? Like, okay, if we talk about 2025, I will say the 2025 draft class is looking like something. It's looking like something. Calvin Banks looks the part. Well, what we seen from Tyler Shuck last game, you know, he looking all right? Ernest Sinker looked pretty good. Vernon Broughton, he's out for the season, but, you know, who knows? Quincy Riley looked straight. Devin Neal, you know, like was able to bust off a 12-yard run. So it's looking credible. But at the end of the day, how long has this guy been general manager? And how long has he been making these mistakes? And we're supposed to like just allow this to happen over and over again and not say anything at all, because he brought the Saints, he helped the New Orleans Saints win a championship in 2009. And that's the problem. Like, why are we still talking about 2009? That's their go-to thing, right? Anytime things go wrong, back in 2009, well, what do you think about the Saints 2-8 start? Well, you know, it was rough, just like it was right after Hurricane Katrina, but we were able to bounce back in 2006 and win a championship in 2009. Man, 2009 was great. But guess what? 2009 was eons ago. Like, most people on there don't even remember the Saints winning a Super Bowl. Some of y'all were too young to even really appreciate the Saints. Y'all probably knew they won. But we still sitting up here trying to justify the team and Mickey Loomis as a really good decision maker as a general manager because they won a Super Bowl in 2009? That ain't good enough, man. You got to call a spade, man. You got to call it for what it is. He is not doing a good job. And that's the thing. Like, that's another form of gaslighting. It's like you're saying he's doing a good job, but these decisions from 2021 to the present, and I'm just being general. We ain't even talking about like these draft picks and whiffing on the draft before that. We ain't even talking about that. But for her to sit up there and try to gaslight fans saying he's doing a good job when everybody can see that he's not. Everybody can see that he's not. Like that is the type of it makes people feel like you don't know what the heck going on. And look, forgive me for this, but look, when you out here hiring a new head coach and you're referring to him as Ellen instead of Kellen, that doesn't help you when you're actually having an interview and you're saying that your general manager is doing a good job. Because those are two instances where it's like, man, like, I don't know if Gayle Benson like really just, you know, tapped in like that. Like, I'm just saying, like, so it just wasn't like, he is not doing a good job. He is not. And look, anybody that just feel like, everybody just beating up on Mickey Loomis. Bruh, there was a meme that was going around, a little picture, where they had Mickey Loomis in the front and they had like the little numbers from the Matrix in the background. Everybody was like big up in Mickey, Cat Wizard, look how Mickey finessing the bread. You know what I'm saying? Like how he was moving the bread. Like everybody was like, man, Mickey on his game, right? When the Saints were winning. But then all of a sudden it's like, man, take away the two most important people, man. This dude may not be knowing what he's doing here. So it's not like people were just all out on Mickey Loomis. The whispers became louder like between 2021 and 2025. But people held Mickey Loomis in high esteem before everybody just realized that the emperor had no clothes. So all I'm saying is, man, like when you doing stuff like that, when you're saying that Mickey Loomis is doing a good job, I would have kept that to myself. And the fact that you standing up here saying, I know this might not be popular to fans, like, but I just think that if you're talking about him being fired, that's ridiculous. Is it? Is it ridiculous? I don't think so. Like to me, that's like the situation that's going on at LSU, right? It's like, okay, you keep on allowing this athletic director to exhaust the bread by bringing in bad coaches that you have to give money to. hundreds of million, like close to, well, 20, 30, 40, $50 million. Am I going to continue to allow you to have my checkbook? No, I'm not. I'm not going to allow you to keep on like hemorrhaging my money. Like, what are we doing? That's equivalent to that. It's like, man, I know you. I know you basically, exhausted a total of over $150 million in hiring coaches over the years, but I'm gonna give you one more chance. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing, man? Like, you out your freaking mind. You are out your freaking mind, man. There's no other profession that or any other circumstance that I know of that a person in a higher position will hire somebody, right? A top executive will hire somebody to be in charge of the money, to be in charge of their fleet, be in charge of the girls. That's a shot to Harlem Nights. Whatever it is, right? In charge of whatever it is. You ever see Harlem Nights? Are you in charge of the girl? I am in charge of the girl. Are you in charge of the girl? I am in charge of the girl. But anyway. But y'all get what I'm saying, man. Whatever you're in charge of, like, nobody is going to keep on, like, allowing you to lose them bread, to keep on, like, running their organization into the ground. It just don't work like that, man. It just don't work like that. And look, I'm speaking from experience. Before your boy was behind a microphone, I was a store manager for the majority of my young life, from the age of, I want to say, 20 to maybe 33. So about 13 years of my life, I was a manager. In Texas, I was one of the youngest store managers in the state. Like, and I've always, like, worked in retail and dabbled in that. I can tell you this. If my store was underperforming, my general manager will walk up in there. My general manager will walk up in there and be like, hey, man, look, I noticed that your number's been down over the last quarter. What's going on here? Start walking the store, start looking at the shelves, start looking at my inventory. Like, basically trying to, not necessarily trying to fire me, but at the same time, like, hey, man, we need to kind of tighten this thing up. Now, I've always been able to, weather the storm, turn things around, but at the end of the day, there was some that couldn't. But what did they do? Okay, we're going to give them a chance. What they'll do is, I got to a point where the general manager will call me. He'll be like, Tim, I need you to go over to this store right here and walk the store. I walk the store. I help the person make the corrections and whatever like that, make them do their thing. If they don't get it done, then guess what? I help you the best way that I possibly can. And it basically just reverted right back to the same old song and dance. Guess what? You out. No, because it's too important. When you're handling millions of dollars of inventory, when you're handling $1 billion business, you can't just be sitting up here allowing a person to just fumble all over themselves. You can't. You can't do it. And it's just ridiculous. Like, man, you could have kept, like, man, I like Gayle Benson a lot. Like, I'm serious, man. I like how she does not get in the way. She doesn't know what she doesn't know. I respect that. I really do. But that just was the wrong energy. Like, you could have kept that to yourself. Like, I mean, the fact that you just stood up here and stood on the front lines for a guy that honestly has not been doing good at his job. And you making it seem like fans are, like, not well within their right to question this dude. Like, don't say ridiculous. Like, ridiculous to me is, let's just say if LeBron James scored 40 points, one night, and then all of a sudden, like, the next night, he only had like 5 points. You just turn around and be like, man, LeBron James ain't great, man. He suck. Right? I'm like, that's ridiculous. Like, okay, man, this dude, like, arguably the greatest basketball player of all time. He scored 5 points in the night. Like, whatever. Probably ain't gonna happen, but you get what I'm saying. Like, nobody, like, that's ridiculous. Because this guy, like, has, like, this dude is a beast. But that's ridiculous to me. sitting up here like defending a guy and fans are criticizing, and justifiably so, because of bad decisions that I just basically just read off. That's well within fans' right. And for you to say that that's ridiculous, like that's to me, that's a slap in the face to the fans. That's a slap in the face to the fans, because you're basically saying what you're actually looking at and seeing is not exactly what it is. Then what is it then? Because the Saints are 2-8. I mean, that's a figment of my imagination. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know, man. I do need to go get my eyes checked. Maybe the Saints are 8-2 instead of 2-8 or something. I do not know. But to sit up here and say that fans are being ridiculous because they question Mickey Loomis at this point, I think that is ridiculous. You feeling that Saints fans are being ridiculous. We'll take a few more and then we're going to get up out of here. Loomis and Benson both gave her their answers to give, especially when she said something about the Fortner trade. I mean, the Fortner trade ended up working out for the Saints. Of course, Colin Sanders was recently released by the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Luke Fortner looked pretty good. He looked pretty good. I'll give him that. Like I said, man, look, just because you criticize a team and criticize like decisions don't mean that every decision that they make was bad. They made good decisions, but they made terrible decisions. And the good decisions that they have made do not trump the bad decisions, because the good decisions that they end up making, despite all that, they still 2-8. So the big decisions put them in this position to be where they are. Said Gail Sleep. Man, I just don't think she really knows what's going on like that. I don't think she knows what's going on. Like, but I stand by my statement. Like, if this is a deal breaker to me. I request interviews for several individuals on this podcast. Have y'all seen throughout the years? Not one person that I've ever interviewed on this show has ever told me, okay, man, these are the type of questions that you can ask me, ever. Because I'm telling you right now, if somebody tells me, okay, man, these are questions I'm gonna answer, I'm good, bro. Thank you. Thank you. Why? Because at the end of the day, my obligation is to the people that actually listen and watch this podcast. Ain't nobody caring about these softball questions trying to make you look good and trying to gaslight folks. Like, nah, bro. Like, man, miss me with that nonsense. Like, if we gonna talk, we gonna talk. We gonna have an in-depth conversation as to why fans are feeling the way they do, why you feel like they're wrong in their judgment, their thoughts, their views. We gonna have that type of conversation. What we're not gonna do is pretend like these situations and these problems don't exist at all. That's when I got a problem. That's when my issue comes in, ladies and gentlemen, because we're not going to do that. So sitting up there, like, not getting in front of a television screen, having an interview, or stand in front of a podium where the media can ask you questions. Instead, like, you basically, okay, they know what the questions they're going to ask you, getting prepped like this, the presidential election or something like that. Like, man, nobody want to hear that. It comes off fake and disingenuous. People want to know the real deal. People want to know what's really going on. People want to know what's really going on because, like I said, people are invested in his football team. TJ, do you remember when Loomis said he doesn't do any evaluations on coaches and players during the season because he gets too emotional? Man, this whole team to me gets too emotional. They get too emotional. That's the reason why I feel like sometimes, they can't get out of their own way. TJ, great Tuesday night at the NFC South Roundtable. Oh, yeah, man, we had a good time over there. The Saints seemed like they had a good draft in Banks, Sinkers, Stutzman, the rookie corner, and Shuck. I think is at least as good as Rattler. So can they draft well consistently is my only hope. Yeah, I mean, look, just because you criticize somebody don't mean that they ain't got good qualities. I tell people that all the time. Like, just because you give criticism towards somebody or something doesn't mean like you just completely like just throw away everything that is about them. Like we got to get away from that. Like I say it all the time. Like, just because your wife tells you You know, man, you've been slacking on these dishes. I'm telling on myself now. Don't mean that she don't love you. You're like, man, look, I'm just bringing it to your attention here. You know what I'm saying? Like, they give you like criticism, don't mean that they don't love you. They don't mean they don't appreciate you, right? You know, like, it just, like, letting you know, like, okay, man, you still got good qualities. We focus on this right now. It's not to say that every decision that they made is bad, but the bad decision that they made are worse. It's like having a punctured hole in the boat, right? Okay, I passed up this little hole right here, you know, like, and a little small minor hole. But look at the one back here. Like water is gushing into the boat back here. It's still sinking, man. Say, wash the dish, TJ. Like, man, at least I can put them things in this. Hey, man. Hey, sometimes, man, it just slip your mind. You got to put them things in the dishwasher. But yeah, hey, I'm telling on myself. TJ, do you think Gail Benson? My wife gonna watch this clip. Is like, Take the advice of Carl Ursay. Go ahead and take notes and listen in on coaches' audibles on the bench. Hopefully, everything goes well. Anyway, for the same. Look, Carly Ursay Gordon loves what she does. She has a passion for it. That's what she wanted to do. I mean, that's what she's been around her entire life. The late Jim Irsay, may he rest in peace, you know, basically had his daughters around it, and she got bit by the bug, and she loves it, right? And you know, I mean, it's just different levels of this, man. Like I said, Gail Benson doesn't strike me as a person that really would be around football, you know, if she didn't inherit what she inherited. She's around football due to circumstance, to me. So I look at her as like a figurehead. Like I said, I just look at, like, she going out here, you know, she does the little Mother Teresa wave. Everybody, like, you know, like, man, for the most part, nobody like beating up on Gail Benson, man, because she's a nice lady. Nobody like, hey, she ain't never, like, she don't do any, like, thing wrong to, like, hurt anybody or anything like that, man, as far as the fan base. You know, like, she, like, seemed very, very kind. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, you got to surround yourself with people that know what they're doing, but also you got to be able to be stern in certain situations. It's just too buddy for me at times. It's too much holding hands, we are the world type energy going on in New Orleans. I just feel like that's just going to be the downfall of the team, because eventually you're going to have to make a tough decision. And sometimes those tough decisions that you make are going to maybe cause the shaking of a foundation, but sometimes it's necessary. But thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Really do appreciate it. Much love to you. Feel free to leave your comments in the chat. Shouts out to everybody here. You can follow me on X at TJAYJones8. Also, Facebook.com, search the State of the Saints podcast. Also, you can check out the NFC South Roundtable every Tuesday at 8 p.m. And you can check out me after every New Orleans Saints game on the post-game show on the Bleacher Report. Now, on next week, when the Saints play, I won't be doing, well, I will be doing a post-game, but the week after, I won't be doing a post-game. I'll be on vacation. But I got my brother coming through, EJ Jones. He's going to be taking my place. And, you know, so shouts out to him, man, as we go on vacation for the holiday season. So y'all make sure that y'all supporting my big bro. And make sure that y'all show him the same type of love that y'all show me here on the State of the Saints podcast. All right. Till next time, all I got to say is, who that?